All right, welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can assemble and compile these sample programs, these assembly programs that we're working on, and produce not only an executable, but then I think a pretty straightforward way of debugging with WinDbg and also leveraging WinDbg's time travel debug feature. Okay, if you missed the video that explains the setup, I'll add a link to it here. You can check it out. Otherwise, we'll just jump right in. So in that video, I discussed this build.bat script. And the only modification I'm really going to make to this is to add the -zi argument. And as you can see here, I'm going to add a comment that this produces debug symbols. And we're going to use those symbols. So after we have our executable, function names, variable names get lost during that process of assembly and compilation. So those debug symbols allow us to recover those. So when we open up a debug session, we can say things like break on ASM main because the symbol's available. If you don't have those symbols, you can't do that. And you have to figure out actually what address in memory that function ASM main would live at. We could certainly do that, but I think for now, we've got enough learning going on. So debug symbols will help us with that. For our sample program, I just used my template.asm file, made a copy of that, and I'm going to call this WinDbg.asm. So I added an extern for printf, and then just some real simple code here, moving some values into EAX. So moving into EAX hex 42, XORing that with hex 32, pushing it onto the stack, pushing this format string. You can see that's up above here. And then calling printf before cleaning up the stack and exiting the program. Okay, so moving to an administrative command prompt. And the reason that I'm an administrator is for the time travel debugging portion. So first, we'll assemble the program. So build.bat, you'll see there is our debug. And if we look at, let's see if I can show you here, we'll have, I guess I didn't need the dir, maybe I did just to get that autocomplete to work. But anyways, we'll have the .pdb file. So that is the file that contains those debug symbols. So that'll be really helpful. Okay, now when it comes to debugging, you have two options. Well, you can use any Windows-based debugger, but I like to use WinDbg. So first is just to do a sort of a live debug session. So we'll open up WinDbg, and I'll go to File, Launch Executable. We'll navigate to, there's our folder, and there's WinDbg.exe. Okay, now this will load up the executable, and it provides us with an opportunity to set a breakpoint. So this might look just a little bit different than what you have set up. I'm going to close some of these bottom windows just for the sake of real estate. Okay, and I'm going to close those windows, and I'm also going to change the font. So there we go. So now the program, our executable is loaded into memory, but execution hasn't begun. So because we have those debug symbols, WinDbg looked in the same directory that the executable was in, found the symbols, and applied them. So what we can do down in the command prompt window is I can say BP, and because I bumped those fonts up, that changes the, there we go, make that so that we can see it, and you can say BP ASM main. Okay, that sets a breakpoint. WinDbg did not complain, it understood the symbol. If WinDbg complains at this point, you have to make sure that you produce those debug symbols because it might say, hey, unknown or undefined symbol. Now that it's defined though, G to go, and execution will run until that breakpoint is hit. And now you have the ability to step through our program here. Let's say that you wanted to see, well, what is the value of EAX after the XOR? Okay, well, now we can step to that instruction. Here's the register window. Step over, step into, it doesn't matter, and EAX contains the value hex 70. Okay, console is also here, so if at this point we just said go, that'll just execute the program until termination. Okay, now that's if we wanted to go back, let's say we missed an instruction or we just wanted to spend some time really analyzing those, we'd have to restart that session. Not a big deal, but it can be a little time consuming, especially if you're building a lot of programs or you're spending a lot of time analyzing those instructions. So if you install the time travel debugging ttd.exe command line utility, I found that I did have to do this after installing WinDbg preview, or I guess now it's not preview anymore. It's just the WinDbg version from the Windows Store. This little application will allow you to run ttd.exe from your command line. So it just more or less adds it to the path, the environment path. With this executable, all we have to do is give it the name of the executable that we want to debug. Now we hit enter, and you'll see we get a little bit of output, but what we're really interested in is seeing that we got a full trace. WinDbg 01.run. Okay, this means that in the same folder that we ran our program, we'll have a couple of files. .run, .out. .run is the one that we want. You can now double-click that file, and what will happen is WinDbg will load, much like you saw, but it'll load that trace. So it executed, or it actually emulated the execution of that program, and now we have a session. And what's really great about this is not only can I share this trace file with you, I could add it to the GitHub repo. You could just download the trace and step through the code using WinDbg. But also, let's close that. We have symbols, so we can say BP ASM main. Just like we did, the breakpoint is set. We can execute until that breakpoint. But now we can step over and we can step over back. So we can go back and forth. So let's say we missed that instruction. We didn't see what EAX was. We got a little too far. Well, now we can go back and we can see what those values are. The other thing this helps us avoid right now is worrying about ASLR. And ASLR is address space layout randomization, and it just randomizes the address that our executable will be in memory. So that's another challenge that we don't have to worry about. We don't have to disable ASLR. We have debug symbols. We set the breakpoint on the symbol that we want to debug, and now we're stepping into the program. I think we take it one step further in a level of ease, and we use TTD in order to just analyze a trace, because now you have the ability to go backwards and forwards in the trace. So it's a really cool feature. I find this has saved me a lot of time getting into reverse engineering and malware analysis. That doesn't mean that TTD is perfect. Okay, so if at any point you run into any issues, this has happened to me with time travel debug, because it is executing the program through like an emulation layer. If things just don't seem to be working right, sometimes you want to sanity check yourself with a live debug session, because then you're actually stepping through the code as it's being executed in memory. So there's some caveats there, but so far using TTD quite a bit, not running into very many issues. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. I think this is a pretty good environment now for continuing with the assembly course. And if you have any questions, comments, please let me know.